I spent $50,000 to be in this mastermind for 3 days. Here are the top 5 takeaways that will make me over $10 million. Number 1, hire who's and not how's. One major realization that I had that has led to bottlenecks in my own business was that I've hired more how's and not enough who's. How's are employees that you hire that need a ton of direction, help, and support. They heavily rely on you for everything. Now, they can be good to hire, but if they constantly depend on you for everything, then the constraint becomes you, or in this situation, myself. Now, who's on the flip side can take a little bit of direction and then build something incredible with that. As I reflect back to my own business, or even when I was in corporate America running teams with over 100 plus employees, the who's I hired not only did an amazing job at their core responsibilities, they also did way beyond that as well. They made myself and my company better because they were far more skilled and they delivered exponential value. Now, I'm happy to say that my team is now stacked with who's, and moving forward, we'll only be hiring more who's from here on out. Number 2, our time is worth more than we think, and our actions must reflect it. In this mastermind, my mentor asked us, how much is your time worth by the hour? Now, people started shouting, $250 an hour, $300 an hour, $500 an hour. Since I charge $1,000 an hour for consulting and advising, as I know my clients will earn $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 plus off the advice I help them with, I shouted $1,000 an hour. Now, he looked at me and laughed and said, dude, the size of your business and what you earn, you are worth more than that, at least $5,000 an hour. Now, this is like a bucket of ice cold water thrown at me because maybe he was right. He continued. He then shared all the things that he believed was worth less than $5,000 an hour for himself. For example, the presentation deck he was showing, organizing his house, organizing drawers, tidying up, booking dinner reservations, travel planning, package returns and mail, watering plants, getting gas, washing his car, fixing his car, laundry, anniversary stuff, putting away groceries, event planning, last minute items that he might need from suits, shoes, etc., email management, whatever. He explained that him doing those things were essentially worth really less than $20 an hour to him, meaning he could not do the things that would generate him $5,000 and more per an hour. Thus, that is why he has a full-time executive assistant that takes care of all those things and more. I then realized that I was doing all those things he mentioned. And what that meant was I was literally saying yes to less than $20 an hour tasks, which meant I was saying no to the $5,000 hour tasks like building strategic long-term plans for the business, improving back-end fulfillment to take care of customer success to the next level, etc. And I already saw the value of saving time by investing in a mastermind to save myself the time tax of years of trial and error, but there were still so many areas to improve to further optimize my life. As a result, I'm actually now in the process of hiring a local executive assistant so I can spend my time and energy on things that provide the most amount of value. Number 3, make your competition irrelevant by obsessing about your customer journey. Now, this may seem obvious, but it was such a great reminder as my mentor had built a wildly successful 8-figure business in a few short years by focusing on this. And as I reflected upon this, I realized that this has been a big part of my own business's success, as over the last couple of years, I've been obsessed with my clients achieving massive results for them, from onboarding calls, plug and play templates, invaluable scalable assets for them, intense and very tactical coaching calls, weekly check-ins, etc. And it's why I continue to seek feedback and look to improve the program every quarter to ensure my clients continue to get results. But all in all, a great reminder that a proactive focus on customer success is one of the greatest competitive advantages a company can have. Number 4, back every decision with data. It's amazing how many decisions we make based on feelings or emotions. Although that can be useful, start with having the core data first. And this means for everything, whether it's marketing, content, BDR teams, sales teams, client success, health, wealth, etc. This then gives you a baseline as what gets measured gets improved. Now, a great example of this has been Facebook ads. Now, the data tracking within Facebook is not great, so when I was doing ads, I couldn't properly attribute and say, hey, I spent $1 on this ad and made $10 as a result, or $1,000 I spent on here and made $10,000. I then learned a better software for tracking, and now I actually had a baseline. So over the last 2-3 months, I spent about $30,000 on Facebook ads, but now with tracking. I tested dozens of angles, creatives, audiences, opt-ins, etc. Now 2-3 months later, even though we generate quite a bit of revenue, I can now pinpoint exactly how much came from those ads. And as I dug into the data, what did I find? Only $30,000 in revenue came from the $30,000 spent on ads. Meaning $1 in, $1 out, leading to a net zero gain. Now this clear data now told me we need a new strategy for cold traffic. So ultimately that clarity led to even better decision making. Number 5, the fastest way to level up is to spend time with people 5 to 10 times more successful than you. Now it's fun for your ego to be the biggest fish in your pond, whether it's being the top rep at your small company or being the most successful out of your friends. However, if you truly want to grow, you must level up your circle of influence, as you will gain so much more from being around them as a result. For instance, I met a lot of wildly successful entrepreneurs at this event who have built businesses earning them $500,000 to over $2 million every month. Our between session conversations, dinner meetups, etc. was insane, as I learned so much from them. Not only that, it was so motivating to see them do the things I personally wanted to achieve. This also forced me to increase what I expect of myself as a result, which ultimately will lead to greater results. So there you have it, the top 5 takeaways I got from paying $50,000 to be in this room with some other wildly successful entrepreneurs. Now, if you're disappointed that I didn't drop any crazy wild ideas, then this last takeaway here might be for you. Because oftentimes, the most successful people are not doing anything wildly different, but they're doing simple, boring things wildly well and consistently for long enough so they too can achieve massive success. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and drop me a comment below which takeaway resonated most for you. See you in the next video.